Welcome to the Occupational Safety Leadership Podcast, episode number 291. And in today's episode, we'll talk about something that really has helped me out over the years. So the title is Plan Tomorrow Today. So in safety, we all have a lot of things that have to be accomplished. Some are very long term strategic plans, are more very tactical, has to be done pretty soon. Some things are really, literally, they have to be done right now. There's been a issue, there's a spill, there's a whatever it is. So there's a lot of varying degrees of things that have to be done. One of the things that really helps me out is to sit down and plan my next day. Make sure that I'm ready to go for the next day, as funny as that sounds. Because in the ideal world, we accomplish everything that we want every single day. Well, that doesn't happen a lot of times. We're being pulled in a lot of directions. But what really helps me out is to literally sit down and plan exactly what I'm going to do the next day. And to piggyback on a couple of the other episodes, I like to do the thing that is the hardest very first thing in the morning. I seem to have not just more energy, but it seems that because I get in early, um, not many folks are in, so I seem to have more time to really focus without being pulled in any other directions. So that really helps out me. But just literally sitting down and planning because we all have something that we have to do, you know. And in safety, it's also hard that you don't want to say no to somebody, of course, because when somebody expresses a concern, it's something that has to be addressed. But I think, well, I shouldn't say I think. I struggled with, um, I know I have to address this, but I have a lot of other pressing needs. So it took me a while to really kind of come up with the right words and the right way to say, I hear what you're saying. I'm going to add it to the list I have going. And of course, my list, anybody can look at the list. But there are more pressing items that has to be addressed. Um, and that's not always things people want to hear because to them it really could be the number one thing that has to be addressed. But if they don't know the whole picture, and of course you have to actually use words. You can't use stuff like you can't use sentences like, yeah, yeah, I'll take care of it. You have to literally sit down and say, I get it. It's really important to you, but right now I've got to tackle other things of higher priority, severity, whatever that you want to add to it then. Um, but sit down, plan what you're going to do tomorrow, today. And then, of course, you obviously have to stick to the plan the very best that you can. It doesn't do any good to sit down and plan things and then say, well, that seems like that'd be difficult. Why don't I put that off and I'll tackle all this easy stuff? Well, typically the higher hazards and the different things are going to be more difficult to solve. So the only thing we're doing is really kicking that can down the road, hoping somebody doesn't get hurt. In the meantime, of course. So for me, and of course I'm talking about my experience, tackling the tough stuff first really helps me out. And I've also been able to just because I talk to not quite every single person every day, but by the time you walk the floor and you get around, people see that you're busy too. If you're in your office at all times, um, not that they don't think that you're busy, they're not really sure what you're working on then. So part of getting things done is actually communication too. So there's nothing wrong with saying when you see that person and say, you brought the following thing to me. It took me a couple of days to get this off of my list. I want to catch you tomorrow at exactly whatever the time is. Let's sit down. Let's 100% address your concern. We look at the equipment. Let's see what we can do from this point on, or whatever the situation is out there then. So that can really help out because they know that they've been heard. They also know that there's a plan for tomorrow. to get this thing done and not just it's out there. It'll happen. It'll get done. So with that, let's go ahead there and wrap it up. Episode 291 is complete, and we literally just talked about, let's sit down and figure out how we're going to plan our day. In safety, there's a lot of things that we get tied into when people say, I need this done right away, I need this, I need that. And I get it, but we also have to think about the long-term strategic things, because if we're so focused on taking care of the easy stuff, we'll never get a goal done. We'll never really look at the severity that's out there, because you could sit down and look at the small cuts and small things, and not that that doesn't have to be addressed, but at the same time you could be overlooking other more severe potential hazards out there. So with that, let's wrap it up. Thank you for joining me. My name is Dr. David Ayers. Have a safe day.